Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Dennis here. Welcome back to my channel, Everyday Strength, where every day I talk about strength of body, mind, and character. And what I want to talk about this morning is a conversation that often comes up, especially lately in my gym. And I think some of the best conversations I have in the gym, or a lot of the conversations I have in the gym with my clients, are some of the best topics I can talk about here and share with you guys. And so one story I share a lot is about my hometown. So I grew up in Havertown, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb just west of Philadelphia, just a little further west than Will Smith. And it's in Delaware County, AKA Delco, which is a thing. Delco people know about Delco. People often try and define what does it mean? What is Delco? And it's an attitude. It's a no bullshit attitude. Obviously it's about Philly sports, but it's also about debauchery, about drugs, and degenerate gambling. The 3 Ds, I would call it: debauchery, degenerate gambling, and drugs. And if any of you from Delco are getting triggered right now, take a deep breath and think about it. You know I'm right. There's not a soul in Delco who, especially the drugs, who hasn't been affected by the epidemic. The true pandemic of Delco is drugs. We've all lost somebody. I mean, not even just seen lives ruined, but just lost probably multiple people. And when I stop and think about, even just my own high school class, and then if I extend that out to, my brothers, they're a little bit younger than me, and the grades below me, the grades ahead of me, the guys I played sports with growing up, the list of names of mostly young men, but women too, who have passed away long before their time. It's in the hundreds, if not thousands. And I thought about compiling this list, but it would be an impossible task and way too depressing. But if you're from Delco and you're hearing this, you know what I'm talking about. And maybe this is not unique. Maybe I know there's a lot of other cities and towns and counties, Delco, in the U.S. that have been really hit hard by drugs, but we were really hit hard. And I participated in all of it. At some point, alcohol. I mean, I'm not even counting alcohol, but definitely, heavy drinking, binge drinking, partying. I participated in that party scene. I was exposed to drugs. I was exposed to the debauchery. That might be the real Delco thing, just fighting. What was the old Veteran Stadium motto? It was like pride, pretzel, and prison. There was literally a prison in the stadium, just because it was already a foregone conclusion that there would be a ton of drunks fighting each other at every Eagles game. So yeah, it just comes with the territory. But a lot of people didn't come out of it, and I was lucky to have essentially dipped my toes, to have taken a full lap in that pool, and able to pull out of it. And I'm sure a big part of that is I left Delco. I'm at this point, I'm currently living in Kansas. I'm coming up on living outside of Delco for about as long as I have lived there. Coming up on, I'll be 38. But anyway, why this is important to the gym, I think this backstory and what I've seen, and just how I've seen my community affected, and just kids, right? They're men when they die, but they were kids. They were the kids I played baseball with, the kids I played basketball with, good kids, Catholic kids, all different races and creeds, and to just have their lives ruined and cut short. I think it's really affected me and my values and what I think is important in life. And when I look at how did I escape that when so many of my friends and neighbors didn't? How did I escape that? And I think it was always my connection to physical culture. I always recognized that it was on some level I knew how my body could perform was reflecting not only my immune health but my mental health. And I didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't understand liver cirrhosis or crappy immunity or gut health or any of that. But instinctively I knew my body's ability to perform correlated with my mental performance and my mental well-being, and that in turn must somehow be related to living a longer, stronger, healthier life. And I think just that recognition is what sent me down this path, this journey. And so, you see the title, it's you can't save everybody. Because in the gym, it's very easy to look at what I'm doing through a very narrow lens. Especially thinking about how do I consider success? How do I measure success? And it's well, if you get a client in and, he doesn't add 100 pounds to his back squat in 5 months or, whatever, some crazy expectation is well, are you even good at what you do? And, I think that's a fine enough conversation we can have someday. But my thing is, honestly, if you walk in my door, into my gym for one day, I've succeeded. One of the most important parts of my mission is to provide exposure to this path, to this other lifestyle, this fitness lifestyle, this physical culture that maybe people haven't been exposed to. And to provide access to good information and to provide a way out from the vices, from those shit habits. And look, I'm all for freedom. I'm all for, let's legalize everything. Legalize drugs, legalize it all. You should have the freedom to fuck up your life just as much as you should have the freedom to save yourself. But with that freedom comes an even higher degree of importance on education, access to good information, and leadership and guidance. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I don't do everything right. But just like with drugs, it only takes maybe that one exposure for some people to lead down this path of destruction. I hope that I can provide this one exposure through my gym and now through this channel where maybe you head down the opposite path towards building resiliency, towards building your body, towards building your mind, and finding a high in that. And I know it's cliche, the sober high, but it is true. I mean, you can take a hit of whatever and get that quick high with an even more severe crash, or you can find what it means to feel strong, to feel confident, to feel empowered, to feel accomplished, and you can ride that high. And guess what? That high doesn't have a crash. There's neuroscientists who show with the brain neurochemistry, it's a pendulum, right? For every high, there's an equal low. And in training, I think part of the high comes from the opposite. It's the suffering in the gym, the hard work under the barbell, the sprinting around the track. It's pain in that moment. A 5-minute sprint around the track is the opposite of a 5-minute hit of whatever. But the rebound is a high for the rest of the day versus a crash for the rest of the day. And instead of destroying your organs, instead of destroying your mind and your ability to be productive and functioning in society, you build all that. You build your resiliency, you build your self-efficacy, you build your ability to crush life. And so if you hear this today, I've succeeded, it's that exposure. And so I talk about this in the gym. It's like, maybe that is my purpose, maybe that is my meaning. I have huge goals. I love, finding ways to insert my creative ideas into this space, like with the 6 and different tests, but that's not really what's important. What's important is that access to a better path. So that's what I got. That's what we talked about in the gym today. Pretty deep stuff, huh? A little different. We were just really talking about the lives we saw get ruined and how some people don't come out of it. But I think this is a great path for anybody to stop where they're at if they're on a destructive path, or to come out of it, is to first honor your body and start taking steps. I'll leave it at that. All right, y'all. Peace.